Hello, best learners. This is Mustafa here at Learn with the Best, and today we're going to be discussing Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 35, Master the Art of Timing. In this video, I'm going to define the law for you, and then we'll look at 3 ways in which we can use timing to our advantage. Here's the law. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of the times, the trends that will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is not yet ripe, and to strike fiercely when it has reached fruition. So, time is a concept that us humans have constructed. It is something that depends on our individual perception, and it is something that can be willfully altered with the use of mindfulness. The vast majority of us live reactive lives. From the moment that we wake up after hitting the snooze button 3 times, our subconscious mind takes over. We have to drive to work, we open up our email and start putting out fires. We don't really know what's coming in our day or how it will end up. We could have a nice and easy day at our 9-to-5 job, or it could just as well be the opposite, an anxiety-producing, soul-shaking day where everything goes wrong and the only thing you can do is react, and react some more. The truly successful people know that this is not a good way to go about the day. In order to have the best quality of life, you have to be proactive with your time. So what exactly does that mean? It means you slow down, breathe, relax, and think with a clear head. When you slow down, time seems to slow down, and the clouds begin to part. According to Robert Greene, there are 3 kinds of time for us to manage. First is the long time. The idea here is to avoid making bad moves because of your impatience, because it will only set you back in time. You must first be gentle with yourself and think with a clear head. Next is forced time, the short-term time that we can manipulate as an offensive weapon, upsetting our rivals. And finally, there is end time, when a plan must be executed with speed. We have waited, found a moment, and must not hesitate. Now let's look at all 3 of these different sorts of time more closely. But before we do that, I need your help with YouTube's algorithm. Please simply engage with this video. Things like smashing the thumbs up button, subscribing, commenting, and sharing the video with your friends on your social networks really do help me out a lot. And if you want to transform yourself from a lamb to a lion, then check out my course pinned in the top comment below. I will teach you the tools that you need for success, but you have to actually step up and put in the work on yourself. This course is not for everyone because the majority of the population are sheep, but for those very few of us who do want to walk the path of a lion, this is the course for you. It can truly change your life. Okay, so first is the long time. Once upon a time, a painter named Chow Yun from hundreds of years ago relates a story that changed his behavior forever concerning the concept of long time. Late one winter afternoon, Chow Yun went out to visit a town that was across the river from his hometown. He was bringing some important books and papers with him, and he had commissioned a young boy to help him carry all of these materials. As the ferry approached the other side of the river, Chow Yun asked the boatman if they would have enough time to get to town before the gates closed, since it was a mile away and night was quickly approaching and the gates would be closing. The boatman glanced at the boy and at the bundle of loosely tied papers and books. "Yes," he said, "if you do not walk too fast." As the man and the boy started out, the sun was setting and they were afraid of being locked out of the town at night. So they walked faster and faster, and then they broke out into a run. Suddenly, the string around the papers broke and the documents scattered on the ground. It took them several minutes to put the packet together again, and by the time they reached the gates, it was too late. If you're full of negative emotions like stress, anxiety, worry, fear, and impatience, then you create problems of your own making that you will have to fix. And then you end up taking a much longer time than if you had taken your time to begin with. If you take a moment to stop, take a few deep breaths, and look at your situation again with a clear head, new opportunities will present themselves. Now, the forced time is a concept that is very much offensive. This is something you use to disrupt the timing of others. Once upon a time, roughly 500 years ago, the great Turkish Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror had invited negotiations with Hungary to end the off and on war that the two countries had been waging for years. When the Hungarian emissary arrived in Turkey to start the talks, the Turkish officials very humbly apologized. Mehmed had just left Istanbul to battle his longtime foe, Uzun Hasan, but he wanted peace with Hungary, and he asked that the emissary join him at the front. When the emissary arrived at the front, Mehmed had already gone, moving in a different direction in pursuit of his swift foe. It kept happening. Wherever the emissary arrived, the Turks made him feel like an honorable guest with food, drink, and gifts. Very pleasurable, time-consuming tricks. After Mehmed finally defeated Uzun and met with the emissary, it turned out that Mehmed's terms for peace were very harsh. After a few days, the negotiations ended and the stalemate remained. And this is exactly what Mehmed wanted and planned for all along. While fighting Uzun, Mehmed wanted his full attention and his full forces at the ready. He couldn't waste time and resources going back in another direction if the Hungarians decided to attack at another front. By talking negotiations and keeping the emissary tied up over a prolonged period of time, Mehmed was able to safely fight and defeat Uzun with his full might. Using forced time in battle is not really something that we do today, obviously, but now that you know what it is, you can use it to test someone. Say someone you're dating. So I had been seeing a girl once. We'd been on maybe 5 or so dates at that point, and I liked her, but before moving forward with the relationship, I wanted to test her. So what I did is, I set up a date and I told her I'd pick her up at 6 p.m. And so around 5:55, I called her and I let her know that I ran into heavy traffic. I was running late and that I should be there around 6:10. She said, okay. So I thought, okay, no big deal. It was a mini test just to see how she'd react, and it seemed like she had passed. But when I got there though, she was fuming. She was super pissed off that I was 10 minutes late. She failed my test, and at that point in my life, I didn't need someone who was going to be upset over little things. So I let that one go. This is how you apply the strategy of forced time in today's world. Now, end time is how you artistically use time to your advantage in an instant. This is used after having applied the strategy of forced time. So after the girl that I had been seeing failed my test, I used end time to end the relationship and not waste any more of my time with something that would lead to nowhere because she did not meet my standards. Mehmed the Conqueror used end time when he finally met the emissary and revealed his harsh terms instead of half-heartedly going in for a real truce. This law of mastering time can be used in conjunction with law number 29, applying all the way to the end, because both laws require the strategic use and management of time to get the results that you want. There are 365 days in a year. Do you remember what you did 3 weeks ago in your spare time? No, probably not. But what you probably did was eat a pizza while watching Netflix. Yeah, it felt good at the time, but how is it helping you now? Your past self didn't care about your current self, and your current self is likely not putting things in place to take care of your future self. If you like my YouTube content and you want to support me and the creation of more content, then please check out my Patreon link pinned in the top comment below. I upload new videos every Friday for my Patreon subscribers that go deeper into my life regarding the 48 laws of power. These videos are a bit more raw and untamed than my usual videos here on YouTube. And if you're a patron of mine already, then I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's people like you that make all of this even possible in the first place. I hope you enjoyed this animated video on Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 35, master the art of timing. Thanks, and I'll see you next time for Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, law number 36.